Papoose is the wealthiest man that I've been with. And that's like no faking. I haven't paid for a flight, a hotel, a fucking purse, nothing. And I don't know how long. Food. He take care of everything.
Listen to this. Child, the whole thing was a calculated play orchestrated by Papoose and Remy from jump. The mission was simple and singular. Pull Claressa Shields back into the mix. Hold up, because to this point, it's actually worked. That alone explains why the marriage is still intact. Claressa has consistently gone to bat for Papoose, saying he was the first man who ever treated her right. Girl, what she didn't realize was that his constant presence had a price tag attached. She was funding it, literally. Whether it was shade or spite, Remy Ma already slipped and framed Claressa as Papoose's latest come-up. And she can say it out loud because let's be real, nobody's rushing to believe her anyway.
And you over there playing with that girl. You over there playing with her. If I thought she would believe it, and would listen or even care, because anytime somebody gonna say like, yeah, they told me what the situation was and I accepted it.
And now, hold up, Remy Ma's words are starting to sound straight up prophetic, because fresh evidence is surfacing that Papoose has allegedly been siphoning money from Claressa to wipe out his own debts. And listen to this, he reportedly has no intention of stopping until she's completely drained and has nothing left to give.
Oh, I'm never gonna stop talking about my man. I just brought him his food in the back because he was upstairs. Ain't that y'all joke? Oh, he's upstairs. Just brought him his food. And y'all talking shit, but guess what? Ain't nobody gonna ever make me stop talking about my man. That's what y'all think y'all gonna do. You're not gonna do it. Whenever I feel like saying Papoose's name, I'm gonna say his name. Clark it.
Okay, pause right there. So ever since Remy and Papoose went from being the poster couple for black love to straight up black poison, Claressa got exposed as the woman Papoose had been spending all that time with. From that moment on, her name has been tied to non-stop chaos. If she pops up in the headlines, 9 times out of 10, it's because she's speaking on Papoose or crashing out online over that relationship. With all that noise swirling around her, it's easy to forget, listen, that she's genuinely one of the greatest female boxers to ever do it. She's a world champion and a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, period. And yeah, she might move wild when it comes to Papoose, but Claressa is literally the only boxer, man or woman, to become undisputed in 4 weight classes while holding belts across 5 divisions. She even had a biopic called Fire Inside with Destiny Ryan playing her. Yet none of that sticks because she's constantly caught up in a mess over a man. And even if Claressa doesn't fully clock how vulnerable that makes her, trust me, Papoose absolutely does, and he slid right in to capitalize. Claressa has Papoose performing in arenas and sold-out stadiums which he never reached on his own, not even during his run with Remy Ma. Hold up, because we honestly haven't seen this much Papoose visibility in over 10 years. And while his pan is respected, I've got to be real, he has very little commercial pull or public relevance without Claressa Shields attached. She's reportedly got him moving with her, not just as her manager, but as a boxing promoter too, talking big about how they create opportunities and generate money together. And one of those so-called opportunities Claressa credits to Papoose just happens to be an $8 million multi-fight deal with Salida Promotions and Win Record, which, by the way, is a record label.
Papoose.
His transition to the executive suite as a creative director of the record company helped broker the deal that secures Shield's spot as one of the highest paid female boxers in the business.
As a fan, watching Claressa from the outside, I never seen someone who was more deserving.
She signed this deal back in November and even held a full-blown press conference hyping it up as something never done before. But listen, let me break down what this contract is really about. Win Records isn't a traditional boxing promoter at all. It's basically a music management company where Papoose is the flagship artist and runs the hip-hop division. So yeah, Claressa Shields is the very first athlete they've ever put on their roster. A management setup like this controls her appearances, her branding, her endorsements, and if Claressa suddenly wants to pivot into rap, hold up, they can facilitate that too. Typically, a management team like this takes around 10 to 20% right off the top. And then there's Salida Promotions, who are also lined up to take a slice of Claressa's money. That's a real boxing promotion company, responsible for locking in her fights, running the events, handling logistics, and selling broadcast rights to platforms like Netflix and ESPN. They're not managing her personal life, but when it comes to her boxing career, Salida Promotions is in charge of pitching her and selling the hype around her fights. And to do that, they're also taking their own cut from whatever Claressa earns. So now you've got multiple middlemen all circling the same bag. And girl, guess what happens once everybody takes their share? Claressa is left with very little to show for it, while she's the one literally putting her body, her jaw, and her health on the line to earn that money.
And we saw that he currently owes and has not paid taxes for the past, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10, not 11, not 12, but 13 years. This man, what does that say, Jasmine? 3, what does it say?
I want to say it says
that's the $180,000 top name of who? Taxpayer? Willie Mack, but he ain't paying no taxes, so he shouldn't be called a taxpayer. He should be called a tax ower. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah. And so these are just Papooses. Now, the reason I think that this is a tender swindler, the reason I think that there's some tricking going on here is because when Papoose and Remy were together doing an endorsement in a her coat show store the other day, she seemed very happy to be there. When I found her tax record, what is it? Yeah, let me see. How much is those tax liens? Remy currently has $622,474.76. Guess who's gonna pay it? Guess who's gonna pay it? The one, according to her own cousin, okay, that got a disability check when she was a kid for being just a tad bit off.
Claressa basically signed herself into one of those infamous 360 style deals. Listen, just like the ones artists used to warn us about in the music industry, where they do all the work and still end up confused about why the money's so light. So hold up, why would the most dominant female boxer of this generation agree to a deal that looks more fitting for a struggling rapper? Word on the street is that the only reason Claressa signed in the first place is that Papoose was directly involved. She even said it herself at the press conference, admitting the deal wouldn't have happened without Papoose's influence. Right now, Claressa is the only real star on Win Records, meaning that the entire label is being carried on her back. And let's not gloss over this. Papoose is also set to receive a commission just for bringing her in, on top of his hands being in everything else she does. Anytime Claressa books a gig, you already know Papoose gets a slice. And from what the streets are whispering, Claressa's money is allegedly what Papoose is using to fund his lifestyle and clean up his tax mess. Here's the wild part. Papoose reportedly hasn't paid taxes in 12 years and owes the IRS over $300,000. And Remy Ma isn't off the hook either, owing the IRS more than $600,000. Remy Ma has taken shots at Claressa, calling her Papoose's come-up, like she's above the situation. But girl, this is where it gets suspicious, because they're still legally married. Papoose filed for divorce, but it hasn't been finalized. And on top of that, Remy Ma has reportedly pulled the divorce back altogether. Meanwhile, they stay beefing publicly just enough to keep up appearances.
Like Claressa has been taken advantage of her whole life, okay? And I want to say this because she's been boxing since forever. I don't know her childhood, but I do know that her best friend who grew up with her came out and made some rather disturbing videos about Claressa being taken advantage of, you know, when she was younger as a young boxer by her coaches and getting pregnant and things like this. And so when I see people like Papoose enter the Cash App requesting money from people like Claressa, after Remy has already warned us that, you know, he preyed on her when she was in jail. He wasn't making no money. It was Remy's money. And she said she put everything in his name only to come out and then have to work. And then he's getting the benefit of the solid black man, of the black man that's holding everything down. And so when I look at this same thing possibly being done to Claressa, and she's slow by default, and I'm talking about slow as in, you know, she probably got some early stage, you know, some issues going on, being knocked around, you know, it does have an effect on your brain and on your cognitive thinking and stuff, and you're not able to see straight. And if she was already taken advantage of by her coaches, surely it's easier for a bum like this to come in and take advantage of her too. I personally think they're still sleeping together. That's just my thing. I'm just gonna hold that right there.
Now people are starting to connect the dots. And listen, folks are saying there's no way Remy Ma and Papoose aren't working in sync behind the scenes. Either way you slice it, both of them come out on top. Even if Papoose walks away from Claressa, hold up, he's still locked into a piece of her bag. And if she ever decides she wants to jump into rap, guess what? He's getting a cut of that too. So from every angle, he's generating income. And the talk is, he'll use that money to clear his own debts and help settle Remy's as well. Because legally, girl, they're still married, and that liability doesn't just disappear.
And right now, the internet is collectively hoping Claressa wakes up and realizes that both Remy Ma and Papoose profit from her staying tied to them. Because if she doesn't wake up to that, she's going to wake up one day and realize there's nothing left. 1000%. Yeah, I did my homework, listen, and the verdict is clear. She's getting played quicker than a New York minute. Papoose is straight up preying on Claressa Shields, and it's heartbreaking because she shows some very real blind spots in how she processes what's happening. Every time she opens her mouth, the red flags are right there. Miss Shields comes off as deeply insecure and fixated on a man who doesn't truly care for her. And I want to be clear, I genuinely want Claressa to find real self-love and real romantic love. She's endured way too much already. And no, Papoose isn't the only chapter in her story. I just hope he doesn't end up shattering her heart. But what do you think about all of this? Sound off in the comments, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye, Patties.